And on this fateful Friday, Thatcher thunders against Euro-federalism from Belgian Tower of Power. Billie Jean slam dunks Bobby Riggs in Texas, 10 tennis tussle. And old Prussians nightmare Teutonic terrors, again in Baltic brawl. Plus, coming up, who needs autopilot? Our intrepid reporter accidentally flew a plane with feet for 4 hours and survived. Those are the headlines. Mind the step.
Edil, Newsbang, in the ring of reason, hitting ignorance below the belt. Day 2, 1988.
Friday has once again followed Thursday, causing widespread panic and confusion across the nation. Eyewitnesses report seeing the day arrive promptly at midnight, catching many off guard.
Local resident Ethel Poppycock, 83, expressed her outrage. "I was just getting used to Thursday, and now this. It's an absolute travesty."
Experts warn that this could be part of a larger pattern, with some theorizing that Saturday may be lurking just around the corner. The government has issued a statement urging citizens to remain calm and to prepare for the possibility of a full weekend.
Meanwhile, calendar manufacturers have seen their stock prices soar as people rush to confirm the existence of Friday. "We've never seen anything like it," says industry insider Reginald Datebook. People are buying calendars by the truckload just to make sure they're not going mad.
Amerikud, 1973.
Billie Jean King has triumphed over Bobby Riggs in what can only be described as a tennis massacre. The match, held in the Houston Astrodome, saw King absolutely demolish Riggs in straight sets, leaving him a quivering mess on the court.
Eyewitnesses report that Riggs, self-proclaimed male chauvinist pig, was last seen sobbing into his racket and muttering something about making sandwiches. King, meanwhile, celebrated by bench-pressing the entire women's tennis circuit.
Local misogynist Bert Chauvinton expressed his disbelief. "It's like she had 8 arms and was powered by pure estrogen. I've never seen anything like it."
The match has sent shockwaves through the sporting world, with men everywhere frantically searching for excuses. Some blame the heat, others the court surface, but most are simply hiding under their beds, terrified of the impending female takeover.
As a result of King's victory, the US government has announced plans to replace all male athletes with women, citing superior performance and less whining. Men's sports will now be limited to competitive beard-growing and mansplaining tournaments.
Adistity, 1260.
The Teutonic Knights' conquest of Prussia took a dramatic turn today as local chieftain Hercus Monti led a massive uprising against the invaders. Eyewitnesses report scenes of chaos as thousands of angry Prussians armed with pointy sticks and stern looks descended upon the knights' strongholds.
Bertha Wurstmeister, a local sausage vendor, described the carnage. "It was like a medieval mosh pit out there. I've never seen so many beards and battle axes in one place. The knights didn't stand a chance against our superior, yelling techniques."
The uprising, sparked by the knights' recent defeat at the Battle of Derby, has dealt a significant blow to their efforts to forcibly convert the region. Despite the setback, the knights remain determined to Christianize Prussia, vowing to return with bigger crosses and pointier helmets.
Newsbang, chasing shadows in the halls of power.
And now, with a forecast that spans centuries and defies the laws of meteorology, here's Shakanaka Giles.
Well, if it isn't the weather, back to give us its usual bag of tricks, starting in the south, where the remnants of Hurricane Erika, that old diva from '97, are set to make a grand return. Expect a soggy soiree, with raindrops the size of a boxer's fist, and wine strong enough to send your recycling bins on an impromptu world tour. Shifting north, we've got a bit of a time-travelling weather event. The year is 1498, and it seems the heavens are about to put on a show worthy of the Spanish Armada. Batten down the hatches, lads and lasses, as gales strong enough to make Sir Francis Drake do a double take are on the cards. And finally, to the west, where Hurricane Irene, the intrepid explorer, is set to make a reappearance. After a jaunt through the Atlantic and a cheeky crossover into the Pacific back in '71, this weather system is ready for an encore. Brace yourselves for a tropical twist, complete with downpours and winds that'll have you clinging to your sombrero. In summary then, a veritable weather extravaganza spanning centuries and oceans. Umbrellas at the ready, and don't forget the life jackets, and that's all the weather.
(1643).
The First Battle of Newbury erupted today in Berkshire, pitting royalist forces against parliamentarians in a bloody clash that would shape the course of the English Civil War. This strategic setback for the royalists allowed their foes to regroup, prolonging the conflict and deepening the divisions, tearing the nation asunder. The battle's aftermath saw substantial human and material costs, with local populations bearing the brunt of the carnage. For more on this pivotal moment in English history, we turn to our war correspondent, Brian Bastable.
Greetings, dear listener, as I now take you on a whimsical journey through time and space to the verdant fields of Berkshire, where upon this very day in 1643 a glorious spectacle hath unfolded before our eyes. Yes, indeed, the first battle of Newbury doth transpire around us, and we shall immerse ourselves in its gruesome grandeur. Let us first acquaint ourselves with the protagonists of this epic tale. King Charles I and his gallant royalist army do battle against the parliamentarian forces led by none other than the Earl of Essex himself. 'Tis a clash for supremacy within England's heartland that hath brought these two formidable foes to blows. Now then, pray attention as I regale you with tales from these ancient yet oh so exciting days. In mine own research, most rigorous, but more likely pieced together from my dreams, it was discovered that Prince Rupert did engage in an intense sword fight against several unruly Roundheads. Alas, poor lads never stood a chance against such prowess and finesse. Whilst atop his horse Majestic, the name escapes me, Prince Rupert did strike down his adversaries one by one, their bones shattering beneath his powerful steel blade. He finished them off like plump chickens about to become tasty soup. Quite satisfying to observe, if not messy. The parliamentarians fought fiercely but lacked panache according to mine impeccable sources, my pet dog. Their leader, though, the Earl of Essex, displayed cunning strategies despite appearing rather effeminate, what with all those feathers stuck on his helmet and all that curled hair poking out here and there like fragile twigs trying desperately not snap under pressure. But let us not forget the true victims amidst this brouhaha, the humble denizens caught between these armies hungry for power like fat men eager second servings dinner during Christmas feast minus Christmas cheer replace screaming soldiers, charging each other toothpick spears, raised high crying prayers, begging fate gods above watching over keep safe hidden cellar away prying greedy violent men, maim slaughter rape burn, whole village including livestock roads filled corpses flames, no mercy gory visage marches victory parade while survivors sift through ruins, hopeful remnants life return normal, once order restored or perhaps start new community rise triumphant emerge victorious war, hammer glory, better place, leave cruel oppressive tyrants behind, Mayhaps rebuild church, replace pulpit, preach fire, brimstone, soon turn lives, hellish heathens, few soul salvation, maintain blind faith flock, listen sheep fail. Remember falls, save divine intercession, miraculous martyrdom, splendid afterlife. Welcome forgiveness, eternal reward. Fellowship, beloved angels, Jesus, hallelujah, amen. Too many tokens. Darn, there goes my dream gig, Brian Bastable fired. But blessed have I been allowed inform lively curious minds, events, long past seared memories, realities, future possibility, perspectives, wisdom, fortitude, patience, humility, perspective, respect, moral courage, hope, resilience, love, unity, enlightenment, friendship, humanity, empathy, kindness, respect, agape. Goodbye for now, dear listeners.
2008.
And now, a grim anniversary from 2008. On this day, the Marriott Hotel in Islamabad became an unwitting participant in Pakistan's deadliest game of explosive musical chairs. A truck bomb, clearly not content with conventional parking, decided to redecorate the hotel's facade with a crater and impromptu bonfire. The blast left 54 dead, 266 injured, and countless room service orders unfulfilled. In a twist worthy of a courtroom drama, 3 suspected facilitators were arrested, only to be acquitted faster than you can say reasonable doubt. The hotel, displaying the resilience of a phoenix with a good insurance policy, reopened just months later. And now, for more on this explosive tale, we go to our crime correspondent, Ken Schitt.
Good evening, you slack-jawed voyeurs of violence. Ken Schitt here, reporting from the smoking crater that used to be the Marriott Hotel in Islamabad, Pakistan. Just hours ago, this 5-star pleasure palace was reduced to a heap of rubble and charred dreams when some gutless coward decided to play demolition derby with an explosive-laden truck. 54 souls were vaporized in an instant, their last moments a symphony of screaming metal and shattering glass. Another 266 poor bastards are writhing in agony, their bodies peppered with more holes than a block of Swiss cheese in a firing range. The blast left a crater so deep you could bury an elephant in it, and wide enough to fit your mother's ass. 2/3 of the hotel is now a twisted metal skeleton, a grim reminder that even the fanciest joints aren't safe from the long, bony finger of death. This hellish inferno erupted just hours after President Zardari finished flapping his gums at Parliament. Coincidence? I think not, you naive ninnies. This was a middle finger to authority, a blood-soaked calling card from the festering underbelly of extremism. As the embers cool and the body count rises, one thing's for certain: the city of Islam has been violated, its innocence shattered like the windows of the Marriott. The tourists will flee, the diplomats will cower, and the people of Islamabad will be left to sweep up the pieces of their shattered sense of security. This is Ken Schitt, reminding you that in this world of chaos and carnage, the only thing you can trust is the cold, hard truth. And maybe a bulletproof vest. Good night, you miserable bastards.
Day 2, 1988.
And now, turning our attention to a story that shook the very foundations of our nation on this day in 1988. It was a day that will live in infamy, or perhaps just mild confusion, as absolutely nothing of note occurred. Yes, you heard that correctly. On this unremarkable day, the British public collectively shrugged their shoulders and went about their business as usual. For more on this gripping tale of uneventfulness, we go now to our political correspondent, Hardiman Pesto.
Martin, I'm here in Bruges, Belgium, where Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher has just delivered a speech that sent shockwaves through the European economic community. I'm joined by Belgian political analyst Dr. Waffle van Sprout.
Pesto, what exactly did Mrs. Thatcher say?
She stated Britain's disinterest in a European superstate, saying, "We have not rolled back the frontiers of the state in Britain to see them reimposed at a European level."
Quite a statement. Dr. Van Sprout, your take?
It's concerning. Mrs. Thatcher rejects European unity's foundations.
Actually, she endorsed a stronger Europe, just not a federal Europe.
Pesto, did you listen to the speech?
I was busy sampling Bruges chocolate, but have it on good authority Thatcher loves Europe.
Who is this authority?
The chocolate shop owner, Martin.
This is absurd. The speech was anti-federalist with serious implications for the EEC.
Quotes from the speech, Pesto.
Let Europe be a family of nations, understanding each other better, appreciating each other more, doing more together but relishing our national identity.
Surprisingly coherent. Are you sure you didn't make that up?
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Thatcher?
The horse statue in the town square with excellent acoustics.
Pesto, where are you exactly?
In a chocolate shop called the Sweet Surrender, but I can see the belfry, sort of, through the chocolate fountain.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hardeman Pesto, reporting from a chocolate-induced haze in Bruges.
1984.
And on this day in 1984, America witnessed the birth of a cultural phenomenon as The Cosby Show premiered on NBC. The sitcom, featuring the affluent Huxtable family, shattered stereotypes and redefined the portrayal of black families on television. With its focus on family values and education, the show quickly became a ratings juggernaut, paving the way for future diverse programming. But what impact did this groundbreaking series truly have on American society? For more on this story, we cross to our American correspondent, Melody Wintergreen.
This is Melody Wintergreen, reporting from the bustling streets of New York City, where history is unfolding before our very eyes. It was on this day 40 years ago that the world was forever changed with the premiere of a little sitcom called The Cosby Show. Ah, The Cosby Show. The show that dared to defy the dismal depictions of black families that had long dominated the airwaves. No more were we subjected to the tired tropes of poverty, crime, and stereotypes. Instead, we were introduced to the Huxtables, a clan of class, culture, and cozy comforts. This was no ordinary household. This was a veritable fortress of family values where education reigned supreme and the matriarch's beef bourguignon was the stuff of legend. As the pilot episode, Theo's economic lesson, unfolded that fateful night, America was captivated. Viewers were swept away by the effortless charm of Cliff and Claire, the mischievous antics of their brood, and the family's unwavering commitment to one another. It was a revelation, a sitcom that celebrated the strength and resilience of the black experience without a single mention of welfare lines or back-alley brawls. The Cosby Show's debut was a ratings juggernaut, earning a Nielsen score that would make even the most seasoned network executives swoon. And the accolades only continued to pour in, with the series going on to dominate the airwaves for an astounding 8 seasons, scooping up Emmys and Golden Globes like they were going out of style. But the true legacy of The Cosby Show lies not in its trophy case, but in the hearts and minds of a generation. This was a show that shattered stereotypes, challenged perceptions, and paved the way for a new era of inclusive, empowering television. The Huxtables didn't just entertain us, they inspired us to dream bigger, to reach higher, and to embrace the richness of our shared humanity. So as we gather here today, in the very streets that once bore witness to the Cosby clan's hijinks, we celebrate not just a television landmark, but a cultural revolution. The Cosby Show may be history, but its impact will echo through the ages, a testament to the power of representation, the magic of storytelling, and the enduring strength of the family bond. Melody Wintergreen, Newsbang, New York City.
News Bang. Reality bites, but first it gnaws at the truth. Oh my God, 1973.
And now, for a look back at a pivotal moment in tennis history, we turn to our sports correspondent, Ryder Boff. Ryder, take us through the infamous Battle of the Sexes match of 1973.
And now, sports fans, we travel back to the year 1973, where the world of tennis has been turned on its head faster than a vicar's daughter at a disco. The Houston Astrodome played host to what's being dubbed the Battle of the Sexes, pitting the vivacious vixen of volleys, Billie Jean King, against the self-proclaimed male chauvinist pig, Bobby the Mouth Riggs.
Riggs is serving a weak effort. It's like watching a geriatric slug trying to climb Everest, and King whacks it back for a winner. Riggs throws his racket in the air. You could say he's serving up a tantrum, and the crowd is loving it. They're roaring louder than a lion with a toothache.
In a display of athleticism that would make a greased gazelle look arthritic, King absolutely trounced Riggs in straight sets.
Riggs just can't handle King's backhand. It's like trying to swat a fly with a tennis racket. Oh dear, he's missed the ball completely. The ball boys had to retrieve it from the stands. I wouldn't be surprised if he's autographed it for... is serious for sus andias ta. Adus opistas sus kafin sais and baishis as visuneer.
It was like watching a lion devour a particularly slow and mouthy gazelle. The crowd went wild, and I haven't seen so many bras thrown in jubilation since my ill-fated stint as a Chippendale in Clacton-on-Sea. Riggs, looking about as comfortable as a nun in a nudist colony, tried every trick in his arsenal, but King, with the grace of a swan and the determination of a badger with a grudge, swatted away his serves like pesky flies at a picnic.
King is on fire. She's moving around the court like a whippet on a trampoline. Riggs is chasing shadows or possibly hallucinations. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts seeing pink elephants soon. And another point for King. She's got more game than a pheasant-plucking convention.
I must say, it reminds me of my own battle of the sexes back in '69. I challenged my then-wife Maureen to a game of buckaroo, and let me tell you, she showed no mercy. I still wake up in cold sweats, the phantom pain of plastic hooves lodged in my buttocks. But I digress. King's victory is being hailed as a triumph for women's lib, whatever that means. Next thing you know, they'll be wanting equal pay and the right to wear trousers in the office. What's the world coming to? In related news, the Astrodome's resident seagull, Nigel, has announced his retirement from stealing spectators' hot dogs. After witnessing King's victory, he's decided to pursue his lifelong dream of becoming a synchronized swimming coach for pigeons. And finally, in a touching display of sportsmanship, Riggs has graciously offered to teach King how to make a proper sandwich. King's response was, shall we say, less than ladylike. This is Ryder Boff, signing off and reminding you, in tennis, as in life, if you win, you win. And if you lose, well, you definitely lost.
(1977).
And now, for our science segment, we turn to our correspondent, Calamity Prendeville, who brings us a tale of accidental atmospheric meddling that nearly sparked an international incident.
Good evening, viewers. It's time for another thrilling science watch. On this day in 1977, the skies over the Soviet Union, Finland and Denmark lit up with a spectacular light show. But was it aliens? Was it the Northern Lights on steroids? No. It was the accidental activation of Britain's top-secret sky jellyfish project.
You see, our brilliant boffins at the Wigan Institute for Atmospheric Meddling had been working tirelessly on a way to control the weather using giant, luminous, jellyfish-shaped balloons. Unfortunately, a rogue technician, distracted by his pot noodle, accidentally set the whole fleet loose over Eastern Europe.
Eyewitnesses reported seeing a massive glowing jellyfish floating lazily across the sky, shooting out beams of light like a disco ball on the fritz. Some claim it even interfered with their television reception, causing Crossroads to be even more incomprehensible than usual.
The Soviets naturally thought it was some capitalist trick and nearly launched their entire nuclear arsenal. Luckily, a quick-thinking British diplomat convinced them it was just a new Benny Hill sketch gone horribly wrong.
Since then, the sky jellyfish has become a cultural icon, inspiring everything from lava lamps to questionable hairstyles. Some say on a quiet night you can still hear the faint bloop-bloop of its tentacles in the sky. So next time you see a strange light in the heavens, remember, it's probably not aliens, just another British invention accidentally terrorising Eastern Europe. This is Calamity Prenderville, signing off. Now, who's for a nice cup of tea and a Battenberg?
Newsbang, unleashing a volcanic eruption of factual information on an ignorant planet. A Newsbang, revealing the best in the worst possible taste.
And finally, a quick look at tomorrow's papers. The Times. British whip Ottomans in Nazareth. There's a photo there of a large map. The Telegraph go with Spanish set sail for Patagonia snooping spree. And the Scotsman, Charlie's big win in Preston Pan's punch-up. There's a drawing there of a proud-looking Charles. That's it. Newsbang is back tomorrow, so keep your batteries topped up. We finish tonight with a news flash. The Ministry of Information have announced a special month of concern for Scotland. Every household in the country will be sent a packet of slightly less grey paint. Bye.
Tune in next time for more artificially intelligent hilarity. Newsbang is a comedy show, written and recorded by AI. All voices impersonated. Nothing here is real. Good night.